Let's see how much $2 will get me. I'm taking the Elite 110. I haven't ridden this thing in quite some time. The SH150, I'm having an issue with the brake light. So the brake light is on all the time. I think it might be the bulb, but I thought it was the actual socket. And I took the entire front off trying to figure it out. I thought it was the switch. You know, the SH150, it's a really good bike because of the large wheels, but it's not as cute as this one. This one definitely has that cute factor. I had a guy that came, I think, all the way from Leesburg, Virginia, because he wanted to buy my Super Tenere. And you know, Facebook Marketplace makes it very difficult for you to sort out some of the problems with buyers. You know, I saw that this profile guy, his name was very strange. It was like M-E-H. Anyway, so I looked at his profile, and he had a Kawasaki Z125 as his profile. And I was like, okay, you know, the Grom and the 125, they're both like beginner bikes and advanced bikes, because a lot of people are getting into those for kicks. You know, it's kind of like the reason people get scooters. It's kind of like an alternative to a aggressive riding style. So this guy came over, and I think my question to you is, do you let people test ride your bike? And I told him no, I needed cash up front. The full asking price up front. And he got a little uppity. And he, you know, it turns out he didn't ride the bike because of that, you know. And in a way, I understand it. It's like, okay, damn, this guy is squirting around the corners there. So what do you do? Like, you let him ride your bike up and down the street. And I think I'm more in the camp of not letting people ride anymore, because around my area, there's been people that have come over to people's houses and basically stole their bikes. You know, they say, hey, I want to ride your bike, test ride it. And then they take off and you never see them again. So starting today, I'm like, okay, I need cash up front. I just got to protect myself. And he got very upset because he came pretty far in rush hour traffic in DC. It's an ordeal. But I also suspected that this guy was not really interested in the bike. He was too new. He was a beginner. And he was asking me all of these very beginner questions, like things that you would ask for a car. Like, what maintenance is it going to need in the future? And that's something that you would ask a car guy. It's like, oh, I haven't changed my belts. So in 20,000 miles, you're going to have to change your belts. You know, things like that. Like, I've never gotten asked that in the time I've sold bikes, because it's assumed, a lot of it is like regular maintenance, and if you are anal about maintenance, you follow the schedule that the manufacturer provides. And then he was asking me about where the closest dealers are. So they got me thinking, before he wanted to test ride it, that he was very new. And the Tenere, it's got two modes, touring and sport. So you can put it in touring and still ride it, but it's still a very big bike, and I didn't want him to like screw it up. The last thing I want is a beginner riding my bike and then like clunking down the gears and shifting hard. My thing is, you need cash up front. I'll hold on to it. And I need to take a photo of your driver's license, just to make sure. But the thing is, if you let people ride your bike, and they usually give you the thing, oh man, I'm just going to ride up and down the street, and they drop it, they're not obligated to buy the bike, right? And since there's very little shame in the world, they could just like, oh well, it's not right for me. Sorry I dropped it. Sorry I caused like $600 worth of damage. Sorry. They can very much do that. And a lot of people will. So in a way, just kind of protect yourself by having the money up front. I think that's the best thing you could possibly do. A lot of people, they go by the drop it, you buy it sort of mentality, and I kind of agree. I've known two girls, and they actually knew each other, but each on separate occasions went to test ride bikes, and they dropped them. They dropped the bikes, but I think they did buy the bikes. One was like an SV650. She went to test ride the bike, and she's kind of like average for a woman size, so it was too tall for her, and she dropped it. This is pretty common, and I didn't want this to happen with my bike because the Super Tenere is really large, and the guy was complaining already how tall it was, and I had to put the seat in the lowest position. And I just got a bad feeling that this guy was going to be dropping it. And he came with his family, so it made me think, okay, at least he's not going to rob me. But I didn't want to let him test ride the bike because I kind of thought he was pretty new, and I didn't think he knew what he was doing. Now, there is the possibility of you having a contract made out. If you drop the bike, if there's any damages made to the bike, then you agree to pay whatever asking price it is for the bike. You take a photo of this driver's license, and then you can, like, if something happens, you could take him to court. But who wants to do that? I mean, that's the whole point of having the cash in hand. In a way, one time I had a guy come over, I told him that, like, he needed cash in hand, and he's like, oh, I'll hold on to the money while my buddy goes and test rides it, because I don't really trust you to, like, hold on to the money. And my question was, well, I don't trust your buddy to do a test ride of my bike. So it takes faith on both sides here. So you have to take a leap of faith when you're letting people test ride. And I've let people, like, drive cars and motorcycles before. I think a lot of it has to do with the type of rider that I see. You know, I've bought bikes, I never even test rode them. Because some owners, they're kind of a lot more worried about me dropping the bike. And I didn't take offense to it, I just bought it. If I wanted the bike, I just bought it. But this guy, it seemed like he felt entitled because he kind of came back. Previously, I let people ride my bike, and usually when I ride with my friends, I like swap bikes with them. What is your stance on letting buyers test ride your motorcycle? Do you hold on to money? Do you hold on to their keys to their car? By the way, legally, that's a big pile of nothing. It's like if you hold on to the keys to somebody's car, they can, like, take it to court. It's like, okay, you need to give me my keys. I have my title. I can prove that it's my car. So, yeah, like the whole keys thing, I think that's a bad idea because you're going to end up losing. You have to give them the keys back. But I think the best bet is, like, taking you and a buddy and you giving the money to the seller and having your buddy just kind of watch out, make sure he doesn't, like, pocket any money. But otherwise, I think the holding on to the money thing is probably the best bet. Because if somebody wants to, like, test your bike, I can understand it. But then again, very few Japanese manufacturers let people test ride their bikes. So where are they going to, like, really test ride a Yamaha Super Tenere? Most of them cannot. So let me know your thoughts on test riding bikes. I'm very curious about it because that seems to be a big problem these days, especially with people, like, getting, you know, thefts all over, you know, people coming to the house, scoping everything out. I'm more and more worried about potential crime. All right, post up in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.